I don't know if you can tell, but I really had difficulty with the drawing on this one. Actually, this is a start over where I made so many mistakes initially that I went back to the drawing board and worked on it again. And to me, the mouth and the nose were the most critical of everything. So um, I had to spend a lot of time on it, and finally got, I thought, what would be a really good drawing. Because if you get the likeness right, you can maybe screw up the painting a little bit, but if the likeness is there, the painting should, be able to stand alone. So rather than bore you with the whole thing, I just showed you how I, in this particular case, how I um, work with my mechanical pencil, which was a mistake, and you'll see later on where I talked about blotches on the painting and so forth. So anyway, that took quite a while. The whole painting really took about 3 hours, and I've culled it down to about almost 40 minutes or something like that. So in some parts, I'm happy with it, but in general, I should do it over on a decent piece of paper. Well, in general, when I start a portrait, I always start with sort of a wet and wet blended wash on the face, try to cover up the white areas and so forth. Just get something on the paper. And I generally use, I think there I'm using some cerulean blue, and then not sure what I'm going to come back in, maybe with some rose madder genuine, and there, that looks like rose madder genuine. There's a little yellow ochre, maybe raw sienna somewhere. Sometimes I can't remember what I use. And trying to just do some nice blended washes just to get something on the paper to work with later on. And it's a good thing she has eyeglasses on. This way I can separate the two washes and spend a little more time on it rather than trying to do the whole thing all at once. And then I come down from there and put more washes on, trying to change the temperature here and there where I think it might be cooler, and leave it warmer where other places the light might be able to strike it. You can see the lines from the pencil. I just could not lift them, and consequently, eventually they really took some of the shapes away because you could see the line and it distorted the shape, and so I kind of lost the lightness every now and then. But anyway, I like the way it began, but later on I don't think I'm that happy with it. Right here on the shoulder, you may not be able to see it clearly, but just the beginning of that checkerboard pattern that I spoke about. I've never had this occur, any of these ever on an Arches sketchbook. I know they don't make this product anymore, which is too bad, but I guess maybe quality control or something got out of hand on this particular one. But further on, when I do more washes later, you'll see how dramatic it is. And, you know, I suppose if you want to have a sunburn that looks like that, that's one thing. But it kind of destroyed how the painting's going to look when it attracts the eye there, and kind of ticked me off. But anyway, that's the way it goes. It's a sketchbook. It's not an exhibit piece. It's not going to go in a frame, so it doesn't really matter in the long run. was quite a cluttered pattern on the dress with different shapes and so forth, and I really didn't want to get bogged down doing the shapes completely, so I decided just to throw different abstract colors in there that kind of represented what the shapes looked like. I don't know, cerulean blue, and probably grayed that down with something, and some orange, maybe it was brilliant orange from Holbein or something like that. But it came out okay. It looked like the dress, but it's not necessarily the way I really wanted to do it. I probably would have spent more time on it, but I just wanted to get something done on it so that the white area of the paper was covered. So, and eventually I guess I'm happy with the way it looks, and it's kind of close to what the kind of the dress was that she was wearing. Sometimes I'll turn the paper upside down to get some control over either the edge or some more control over something I might be blending wet into wet or something like that. I'm not sure. I really don't like how this part came out. It doesn't really. I don't think it really reads that well as a strap to the. It's not the dress actually. I think it's a pocketbook or something she had on her right arm. But anyway, I just put some stuff down there. I'm trying to lift it and trying to figure out how to fix it, but I don't think in retrospect it came out all that well. So what the heck, nothing ventured, nothing gained. boy, I really hate doing hair. It's very difficult for me to do. There's always a big mass to cover and then get some highlights in and so forth. In my defense, in this case, her hair had very little, if any, highlights in it for me to separate. So, it's wet and wet, throw in a little local color and try to shape the brush strokes a little bit like maybe her hair was moving. But in general, I really don't like doing hair. I prefer people to be not smiling and have a baseball hat on or some kind of a hat so that I don't have to anguish over doing the hair. Now, it took me several passes, and I don't know if I'm showing the whole thing here. I don't think so, but I always try to throw in a little color, a little warmth here and there to separate the gray part of the general wash, so it gives it some interest. But I got it done. I'm not that happy with it. You can see here I'm trying to show some shapes that make sense. Now I'm going to try to lift a little bit and see if I can recover some of it. But anyway, it's hair. It reads as hair, but it's not the best part of the whole painting, I think. You can see now the checkerboard pattern in the shoulder, and as I add more of a wash to it, it really becomes quite prominent. And it looks like somebody sat maybe on the paper with a pattern or something and put an imprint somehow in the paper, but it kind of destroyed the whole effect I was looking for. But nevertheless, that is what it is. Like I said, this is just a sketchbook. It's not going anywhere. It's going up on the shelf. Maybe I'll look at it every now and then and wish I'd done something different. But next time I'll use, and if I want to do a painting like this and really wanted to do a good painting, I would dispense with the sketchbook paper and go straight to the Arches 140-pound cold pressed paper that I always use. Here you can see I'm trying to get in a little bit of a shadow shape in there under the chin. And once again, I've added more paint to the chin area and the mouth and below the nose, you can see that line I had to give me an idea of where certain shadow shapes go, but I could never lift that line, and so consequently it looks awful. But and in one case in the lip, I think I lost the shape in the lip because I couldn't erase the line, and so the line overlapped where I was painting, and consequently it looks different than what the original drawing was. Here I'm just finally trying to model some of the features a little bit more, adding some more red to the ear and so forth. I don't know what that was, probably a little maybe a little alizarin crimson or rose madder, and maybe threw in a little bit of orange or something in there too. Now I'm just trying to add some shadow shapes to give the features a little more definition, and I'm using it for the first time. I've never used these sorts of brushes before, and I like them quite a bit for putting washes down and blended washes and so forth and so on, but insofar as you really can't lift all that well with it, at least you can't get an accurate lifted shape with it, so I maybe occasionally will go to a more a stiffer brush, but for big washes and small and blended washes, in some cases I really kind of like this, but I should try painting a complete painting on better paper with these to see if I really like how they perform. You know, I'm just trying to lift some stuff. I think the nose got a little out of whack as far as the value is concerned. And again, notice the shapes on the cheek and the chin where the pencil, I couldn't lift the pencil. But as I said, it is what it is. You can see now as I'm starting to add some darks, at least around the mouth it doesn't look so bad, but wait till I get up to the crease below the nostril as it comes down to the lip. And it goes right over that pencil mark, and it looks so dark, and you really can't, you can soften the edge a little bit, but notice it just doesn't go away, and got to work to smooth that out. And it's really distracting, so once again, I'm never going to use that mechanical pencil again for drawing, at least on watercolor paper. Usually I use an HB pencil. It has, somewhat of a decent point on it, but in this case I think it got a little bit too heavy-handed with the pencil and the lead. I don't really know what I was thinking. I think at this point I said, well, let's get this thing over with, something to put in the background. I really didn't give it this probably as much thought as I should have. Green, I don't know. It's probably should have been a warmer color because her skin tones are quite cool. So some other color would have been better than like a warm gray or something like that. But anyway, green, I don't know what I was thinking there.